I'm going to call this meeting to order. Roll call.
McKnight.
Here.
Myers.
Here.
Roja.
Here.
Vogel. Here. Kinder.
Here. Stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right. This is exciting. We have an oath of office for our fire department. So can I have a motion to concur with city manager's appointment of Dylan Gingrich?
Second.
Discussion?
Chief Wiley will come, there he is, and introduce the new part-time firefighter.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Nice, exciting news for the fire department. We were able to fill our open part-time spot. Dan Gingrich, who is one of our local residents from the area, runs with West Mead too. Well, we've got to know him. So he comes with us with experience as a firefighter EMT. Has a great background in construction, so keep that in mind. But as a department, we'd like to welcome him to the emergency services family here for the city of Meadville. So hopefully for a long and healthy career. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That was their show.
Thank you. So roll call first or the oath of office? Oh, oath of office. Okay. Dylan, I'm just going to have you come up a little bit closer to me. Dalen.
That's all right. Maybe a lot.
Feel free to correct me. Everybody spells my name wrong, so I can dig it. Either way, raise your right hand. Okay. Is it your right hand?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I'll
Mirror you.
yes. You're going to repeat after me. I, Dalen Gingrich, solemnly swear and affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
I, Dalen Gingrich, solemnly swear that I will
support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
I, Dalen Gingrich, solemnly swear and affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth.
And that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
And that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
Fantastic. Welcome and thank you for being here.
Yeah, construction card.
You can give it. All right, roll call.
He needs to sign.
Sure.
Sorry. McKnight.
Aye.
Myers.
Aye.
Roja.
Aye.
Vogel. Aye. Kinder.
Aye.
Thank you.
Again, thank you, Dalen, for being here in our city. Notice of executive session meeting.
Your Honor, an executive session was held on October 3rd, 2022 to discuss real estate.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve minutes from October 3rd?
Motion moved.
Discussion? Roll call.
McKnight.
Aye.
Myers.
Aye.
Roja.
Aye.
Vogel. Aye. Kinder.
Aye. Communications?
On October 4th, 2022, Council received a letter from Mark Higley regarding ARPA funds and a letter from the Crawford County Coalition on Housing Needs in support of the rental registration and inspection program. On October 6, 2022, Council received an email from Lee Scandinero also in support of the program.
Manager's report.
Your Honor, As you may notice, there's a different person in the seat beside me. This is Tim Wachter from Knox Law Firm. I'm going to allow him to introduce himself though, so Tim.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to represent the city. I'm a shareholder at Knox, McLaughlin, Gornall, and Senate. We have the largest government services division in a firm in northwestern Pennsylvania. I would hazard a guess to say western Pennsylvania, but I haven't done the math. The firm's in Pittsburgh. We service, I know I do right to know law for at least 45 different entities, so we have a significant number of municipal and school district clients. In the area, we do represent Crawford Central School District, as well as Titusville and Bloomfield Township in Crawford County, and I believe Oil Creek Township as well. I've been in government in various capacities in federal, state, and local governments since 2000, so for over 20 years now. And I had a short career before I went to law school, and then I went to law school and started representing governments in 2006, so 16 years or so. Look forward to it, and if you ever need anything, please do not hesitate to reach out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Very much.
Council Subcommittee reports, Housing and Economic Development. We have nothing new at this point. Community engagement.
Community Engagement Subcommittee, there's an American Rescue Plan Act survey that's live, can be found on the city's website, probably on our Facebook page, and you can scan these little QR codes. Basically, we have our second allocation of American Rescue Plan Act funds coming to us this year, if they haven't already, and that makes available, that frees up some of our general fund money. We want to know how we should spend it. So basically the survey that staff worked on, our committee reviewed, and then council reviewed, lists outstanding items from plans, city plans, county plans, that we haven't had the money to do. And so the survey asks residents to weigh in on what they think we should spend the money on, where your priorities are, especially right in light of COVID. The funds are intended to help kind of alleviate the burden, economic, health, and otherwise, that COVID-19 is having on our community. But we also know the financial situation we're into, so applying that money towards our budget is an option on there as well. So folks should participate in that survey online. I think there are also hard copies in the city building too, if folks stop in during our operating hours. We've got those, and that will be live through budget season, through Friday. This Friday. Okay. Okay, so you have until Friday. Okay. Can we extend it? Did we set it for a reason?
We could. We had discussed the 21st.
Okay.
I think that so that we had those results before we started the meetings, maybe?
So what's going to end up happening is that we'll have to go through and weed out if there are any duplicates that may have come through, and also to ensure that anybody who voted was qualified, right? So city resident, business owner, taxpayer of some sort. So it'll take us some time. We'll have a discussion later in the meeting concerning the dates of those budget meetings. The proposed first date is November 2nd. So just to give some time to compile the data for a meaningful push to council.
Okay, so people have 2 days to do this survey. I put a little stack of these over by the agendas and sign-ups, so everyone, that's very great that lots of people are here, so take them and share them, and folks watching should do this survey before Friday. And
I think it's important to say 2 more days, right? How long has it been up? When was it?
it's 2 more days, right?
Yeah,
It didn't
yeah.
go live today. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's been up for a while, but we're coming at the deadline.
Yeah.
And then we also, our committee also talked a bit about the kind of proposed rethinking of the budget season and how we go through those presentations, which we will discuss later tonight. Anything else from our subcommittee,
I
Gretchen?
think that's it. Do you know how many people have filled out the survey? Or just, do you know?
I don't know. Katie has been compiling those.
Okay.
So 2 days after the survey opened, we had received 78 responses at that point in time. So that's been almost 2 weeks now.
Okay, great.
Is there anything from the finance?
We'll have a budget in 2 weeks.
Right on. Old business. Authorities, boards, and commissions. Recommendation to appoint Peggy Mogash to, is that right, Mogash? To the Environmental Advisory Committee. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
I'll second. Discussion. Roll call.
McKnight,
Aye.
Myers,
Aye.
Roha,
Aye.
Vogel, Kinder.
Aye. Discussion motion, 2023 budget meeting.
So as the subcommittee discussed at their last meeting, the proposal from staff is to use Balancing Act to do the budget presentations. On the screen, you'll see just an example of Balancing Act. So what this allows you to do, this is responding slowly, sorry, is to go through. At the top, you'll see in the bluish green, it says you're balanced. That's what you strive for. So this will allow the public to come in and actually look at and fiddle around with different budget numbers. So this is just a demo. This does not reflect city budget currently. We will work, if council elects to move forward with this, we will work on putting together what our demo would look like. But you can change different things. So this recreation under Parks and Rec, for example, budget's 1.3 million. The question that they were posing here, should hours of the rec center be expanded? Yes, no. And then it tells you, if you say close at 4, it tells you the budget savings that you have there. So then you're in a surplus. So this is an easier way for staff to present to the public, and also for the public to have some input on balancing the budget. So the first question
Yeah, I was just gonna
Is-
say, so what?
is if council wants to move forward with using Balancing Act to this. We've engaged Balancing Act, where they're set to do a demo for staff and start working with staff on Friday if this goes forward.
How much does it cost?
This is $3,500. And it's 1 year. So one, not calendar year.
One fiscal year?
Is it calendar year?
It is one calendar.
1 calendar year. So we could use this theoretically again next budget season as well.
Or if there's a different budget that we would want.
Correct, or if something comes
Oh,
up,
yeah.
we have
Like a
access
different
throughout the
project
year.
or one budget or something. Yeah, and so it's my understanding that it would allow for kind of hybrid participation, right? So this is live, it's live online, folks can weigh in virtually from the comfort of their home and their smartphone or whatever. But we'd have the in-person public sessions that would give kind of more kind of qualitative, right? Department heads are there to answer questions, and folks could participate in real time if they wanted to there.
Correct. The theory would be that we would have computers set up for folks to use. They could also have the access on their phones. This does give real-time data back to us. We can set that up to do so we can see what the responses are from the public.
It's a good idea.
And it can do the same screening, like you'd have to be a resident and a
Correct.
business involved. Yeah.
When you log into it, there are questions. It says zip
Okay.
code. You can set it up however best suits what you're aiming to do. So
Okay.
there can be parameters put around. So you couldn't, let's say, defund an entire department, right? Like, because that's not feasible.
Yeah.
So you can set those parameters so the public can get a real sense of what council looks at when doing the budget.
I think it's a really great tool. I'm excited both for this kind of easier setup for staff to get input and weed through it, but also like I think it's
I think it could be really helpful, like for the public to see, like, this is how the budget breakdown happens, and if you increase by this much or decrease by this much, right? You know, that's what these are the ramifications, and, yeah, I feel like as we want to be transparent in the decisions we make, even and including financial decisions for the city, I think it's great to, to do it in this way that's visual and hopefully easy and accessible for people. Gretchen, thoughts?
Oh, I really like this program. I think because I'm a visual person and I feel like it makes everything accessible and understandable for people. And people like me even who are new to like doing massive budgets like this. So I think this is great.
Jim?
I'm willing to give it a try because I'm very easygoing and open-minded.
Right, you know what? That's exactly how I would describe you
I thought
every
you
day.
would. We'll go and give it a try.
Okay, so I think you have a consensus that, go ahead. Oh, no, you're good.
Well, I'm sorry, I was just gonna say, it might be valuable for us to like, revisit after we've done the program with the budget this year and see if we liked it and write it into the budget for next year if it's.
Well, if it's a calendar year, you're thinking that we'll be able to use it next year, right? Like, so we'll get 2 years out of this and
We could do our budget early next year.
just
Get it all in once.
and then get 2 years out of it, right? Like, that's what I like, right? That's the part I like the most. So, yeah, I think that we're in consensus to use.
So then the second question is those public meeting dates.
Okay.
In your packet, there's a November calendar with the proposed dates.
Is that on
So,
the online packet?
no, I just made it today.
Here, here's this.
It might be. So
It's in
Wednesday,
that email.
November 2nd, council would be presented the budget as normal. There'd be no discussion. You get your budget book at that meeting. That's a regular council meeting. The following Wednesday, the 9th, is the noon study session for council. That's when council could receive the actual presentation that the public would hear. You'd have the opportunity to speak with department heads at that time and ask questions as well. Then that following week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday of that week, 3 different session times, all with the same information, all presenting balancing act. Just some different 6 to 8 on Tuesday the 15th, 1 to 3 on Thursday the 17th, and Saturday 3 to 5. Just to give the public, again, ability to see the presentation through balancing act. Department heads hopefully can all be at each of those meetings for the public to ask questions and weigh in. That means that, because there's so many Wednesdays in November, that the next council meeting, which would be the first, so it'd be the 7th of December, hopefully we'd be able to compile any information that and feedback we got from those meetings, give those to council, council can mull those over. The 7th, council could do a first and second reading of the budget if they were comfortable after maybe some discussion. And then third and final reading of the budget on the 21st of December.
I would have some concerns about some of these meetings. Typically, when we've had a 12 p.m. study session, we've only met for an hour, and that is not enough time for us to have a presentation of balancing act and talk to department heads. I've received feedback from the public about the times, 1 to 3 p.m. in the afternoon on Thursday the 17th. People have expressed a preference to be able to come in the evenings because most people are working during daylight hours. And finally, the 19th, when we had the budget or the zoning presentation on the Saturday, exactly 4 people showed up. You, Katie, yours truly, and 1 member of the public. So I don't think that's a very good waste or a very good expenditure of our time. I would urge that we do that during a week and in the evening.
So all 3 of those sessions are intended to be the same
programming, so folks wouldn't have to,
Come to
folks
all
can
three.
choose one or the other, so they can pick an evening, night.
So if their availability is evening, they would come the 15th. If their availability is throughout the day, right? They work second shift or whatever, they could come the 17th. And if they only have weekends off, then they could come the 19th, right? We're trying to reach everyone. There are people that cannot come from 6 to 8 in the evening, but we do have that available on that Tuesday. I think that making sure that we have multiple times makes it so not just first shift can come, right? So it's too bad that a lot of people didn't come on that Saturday, but sometimes there are people who can come on Saturday, right? That's their availability. So I don't think excluding a time to put one more evening time, I hope that everybody that can make it from 6 to 8 can make it that Tuesday, right? But I would, I don't want to take out sometimes because people work different shifts. Some people work retail, some people work at restaurants, school, right? So they can make it right after school, they can make it at different times. So I do understand what you're saying, Jim, but we do have that one evening, and I do want to make sure that everybody is covered with the different times.
Well, you will definitely be excluding all the football lovers if you do it on Saturday from 3 to 5 p.m.
But they could come from 6 to 8 on Tuesday, or from 1 to 3.
Not if they don't have weekdays available.
Well, luckily too, I think they'll be streamed and people can also do the balancing act online. It's impossible to find a time that accommodates everybody. Do we not have a council meeting on the 16th of November?
We do.
We do, okay.
It's just in between.
It's in between, so we won't have input. Okay, and then, I'm sorry, the programming, the agenda for the 9th, our council study session is intended to be a demo of balancing act and questions with the department heads.
Sure, and we can change it so the department heads can come the 16th to, we just want to make sure that the balancing act is presented to all of council in case council can't make some of those meetings. And since everybody is typically here on the study session days, then that was the date to do it. But we can, nothing is set in stone, we can change.
Yeah.
Will all,
I guess-
I'm sorry, will all the department heads be at these presentations?
They are supposed to be, yes.
And the concern about the 12 to 1 p.m. time frame on the 9th, an hour is not going to be enough time.
Right, to that point, I wonder, could we do half the department, right? Do the budgeting act, balancing act, demo, half the department heads, and then half the department heads at the 16th council meeting? Or something like that. Also, and that's just if we feel like we need time ourselves with department heads, because we could also come to these sessions, these public sessions, and pose questions too. I'm sure, I think that the reason we do it an hour is because
So
we all
people
have to
can
get
do
back to work.
it, yeah, lunch and the availability of staff without taxing them anymore.
Do we think that we need time with just council and department heads apart from these public sessions?
Is that what you're thinking, Jim? Like we need to?
No, I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking that we just need adequate time for people to present their opinions and discuss. And I still don't think that noon on the 9th is going to be adequate time.
That the 16th would work at council? Like how it used to be, right? Isn't that how it was done before? Where the
Like
department
certain
heads would
department
come?
heads came to different meetings, right?
Yeah.
So.
I would suggest, if we were doing it, I would suggest that you have like one department head per meeting. Because you're racing against the clock trying to cram 2 or 3 people in along with other business at a regular council meeting. And we don't really have the time to ask the questions that perhaps we need to be asking.
How many, I mean, is there a way, how many department heads are we talking, how many departments do we have? How many are we talking about?
There'll be 5 technically, so it'd be police, fire, public works, the Mark comes, and then just Tim for general.
And in the past, how have they been done? They've been broken up into 2 meetings, 3 meetings?
2 meetings. There's one meeting every week, every Wednesday, typically in November. So you go through half of the budget, one of those meetings, half of the budget, the other meeting, and then there's a discussion.
And the discussion we're proposed to have is going to be the first meeting in December, correct?
Correct.
So if we break this down, half on the 9th, half on the 16th, or if we need it, right? Because we're also going to be able to meet department heads on the 15th, 17th, and 19th.
Correct.
If we have questions also those days with the public.
And we'll have the budget presented on the 2nd, so like if we were on top of our game and kind, we could get questions to department heads early, right, in writing, and they could address them.
The intent is for not, the department heads to not present their budgets to council as they had done in the past. That's to let balancing act do that presentation, and then if council has any questions, ask the department heads those questions then.
Can you say more about what you mean about letting balancing act do the presentations?
So everything that the department heads would present to you would be just in a pictorial form that you could look at in balancing act.
So it's like when you, like, if you drop down police department, like, what we would typically see as like line items in their budget.
Correct.
Or categories where their line items are,
Correct.
we would see there.
That was
Not police department, not in this demo, okay, so parks and recreation.
It's just
Let us
not-
do that, nothing else.
Like,
and we can set it up so you would see those things that the department heads typically present to you. So how much they spend in personnel, how much they spend in trainings, things like that.
So we will have time to sit with these, look at them visually, really get to know what the department heads are saying, have time to, on the 9th, there'll be that presentation. We can get any questions to the department heads or come the 15th, 17th, and 19th to ask the department heads in person what we would like to know, right, with the public. And then in December, that's when we're gonna hash it out, right, like, okay. And if need be, they could be at the 16th meeting. If need be.
We can ask them, yep.
I mean, this is, you know what I mean, like,
Yeah.
we'll have the 9th and the 15th to figure it out, right? Like, if we need them there. I know that, I'm gonna have some questions, and I know Jim's gonna have some questions,
A lot
right?
of questions.
A lot of questions. That's what I think that you're getting at, is you're gonna have a lot of questions, and you want that time to not be rushed to get those answers.
I want the
Right.
time so that everybody
Right.
can ask their questions and nobody is rushed.
Well, and to listen to the questions that you have, right? Like you, I mean, we all may be asking the exact same question, so,
And we have to pass the budget on the 21st
Correct.
of
December.
December.
30, and we can talk about that. I mean, we could have a special meeting on the 30th of November to do a full discussion.
if we aren't feeling
Correct.
clear, if we aren't feeling good.
I can't do the 30th of November, but I could do a different day. And I would not like to have a study session, I think, of council, like some other evening. I know typically we had done like the Tuesday before Thanksgiving in years past, or the following week, right? Something like that, I think would be. Actually, I don't know. They probably actually would be good. This block.
I am good with this schedule and the contingency plan, right? Like, with the 16th, us meeting on the 16th, and, you know, having
if need be, the ability to have the time to have another meeting, have the time to have these 3 meetings for me to come in and ask those questions, but also contingency plan to create another space for another meeting for more questions. Go ahead.
Sorry, I would request if we're gonna have another meeting that we can set it now, like even if we just tentatively set the time.
And then cancel it if we don't need it, or what do you?
Yeah, or like hold a study session if we want to, and I'm just like looking ahead, I'm like, I'm not gonna make
Well,
it happen. Yeah.
Why don't we leave that for the 9th or the 16th? Well, yeah, you're right, because it would then be a pretty quick turnaround.
Okay. What if we just work on scheduling that, like, an extra study session that we can hold on our
Just in
calendars?
case.
We can work on it after tonight.
That's
We don't all have to dig out our
Yep.
calendars.
Is that
Um,
Christian?
I still have an issue with the 19th in the afternoon. I just don't think that's going to be a productive use of time.
What time are you proposing?
I would propose that you do it earlier, something like 10 to 12 or 11 to 1.
Sure. Like I said, none of this is set in stone, so we can do that.
I'm not
That sounds
against
good.
it. You do the lunch, a little bit of lunch, that sounds good.
The 11 to 1?
Don't say lunch, they'll think it's
Yeah, no,
provided.
yeah.
Oh, that's not in the budget.
I will think it's fine.
That's fine.
So 11 to 1 on the 19th?
Yeah, that's
That's
good.
fine.
But I could,
And then the other thing that I would just request, department heads to prepare, I know we'll have it because we'll have the full budget book, but the thing that Balancing Act, it's very cool, but it doesn't, it's like one moment in time, it's this year and this budget, not compared to, right, we don't see changes, right, from last year, so I think that's, would be helpful, right, to kind of top line, like here's, key changes in the budget from last year. Presumably, it hasn't gone down, it would go up, possibly as long as it up, but we want to be.
And that's, and then discussion zoning ordinance update. So as council recalls, they sent back the proposed zoning update to the city's Planning and Zoning Commission. The Planning and Zoning Commission had a chance to review that. They're requesting another month to continue their review on that. Peter is here, who is the city's liaison on the Planning and Zoning Commission. The question really before council tonight is whether or not to give the Planning and Zoning Commission another month, or would council like to just bring that back in front of them for further discussions, and you ultimately have the final decision. Peter has obviously attended those meetings and maybe can give an actual status update of what is happening at the planning and zoning meetings.
Yeah, sure. There have been a couple members absent, so I don't have the full picture of what all 7 of my planning and zoning commission members might have said. There seems to be those who were in the process at the beginning, or not at the beginning, but at least who saw it towards the end, who were in favor of the ordinance as it is. That's still a minority of the actual members, and then the plurality of the rest of them felt that addressing the ordinance and all the comments as a whole throughout 177 pages of it was a bit overwhelming. Would have liked to see the issues broken down in article by article or section by section, so they're not left the impression of take it or leave it in order to find middle.
So where does that stand? Or is staff helping to break that down? Are they
Yes.
addressing it article by article?
Yes, I expect to, for the November meeting, at least have it brought in sections so they know which sections, like for instance, all the organizational sections when it comes to the establishment of the zoning hearing board, the zoning officer, all that administrative stuff. Does not bog down substantive issues that notes had made about, especially the street typologies and the building typologies. So to extract those would be pretty easy, then we can have a narrower discussion dedicated just to that next meeting and hopefully come to a conclusion. I'll leave it to them whether or not they are ready to motion or vote on the recommendation at the November meeting.
We have a full month in November. There's no reason why we should be hurrying the process for them. Because we certainly couldn't act on it in the next month or so. I would be in favor of giving them at least another month.
Give them another month.
Yeah.
Rich?
Oh, absolutely. And I think with our new solicitor, I think it would be good just to have a bit of, yeah, I think another month would be good.
Yeah, so our target is a month. The committee would look at it at the November 3rd meeting. No, they meet.
Oh, okay.
Planning Commission. Is that enough? Realistically, do you think that they would need more time than 1 month?
Yeah.
Like, are they gonna come back? And then, right, it's not like we have more time in November.
The only hiccup would be that those commission members who were absent over the past 2 months might have some opinions that they had not shared that might come into play. Other than that, I do not foresee that they would need to have yet an additional month if it's simply a recommendation to support the existing proposed ordinance or to make specific changes that can be dealt with relatively quickly. So I don't expect an overhaul of the entire thing in 2 months. I expect that those will be their options. 1 month to consider, and then it might be brought before council in December. That's the goal.
Could we invite planning commission members to give updates until we have the ordinance in front of us? Like the commission members to come at like the 16th? Doesn't have to be lengthy, but just to let us know where they're at, what came up that meeting and when to expect that.
I can do so.
You can see who's available. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Thanks, Anna.
So I guess that would be the consensus to give them one more month and
Yeah.
invite them to the 16th. All right, new business, resolution, authorized signatures and award bids, concrete sidewalk construction, Lindy Paving, Inc. Can I have a motion?
Motion?
Second?
Discussion?
Brennan, do you want to read them?
A resolution of the council of the city of Meadville authorizing submission of an application, reading the wrong one. A resolution of the council of the city of Meadville awarding the bid in the amount of $54,000 to Lindy Paving for concrete sidewalk construction at various locations.
So this is in regards to sidewalk abatement. So property owners whose sidewalks we've done abatement on because of their condition after notice, we've given them the notice to fix their sidewalks when they neglected to do so and became so in such terrible shape. The city comes in, hires a contractor to do the sidewalk replacement and repair. Then we will lien the property as part of the abatement process. We try to send them a bill first, when that doesn't go through.
And the money comes from CDBG?
No, this is abatement money that we have set aside. Tim has a separate account for this specifically.
Okay, what's the source of money in the account?
General fund.
General fund. In other words, taxpayer.
Correct.
And that abatement gets billed to the person who didn't do, you right, like, so that money
Correct.
comes back to us.
should, will, possibly. Possibly,
it
right, it gets built, right.
It gets built, it gets liened, but if there are other liens on the property
Right.
and it goes to sheriff's sale, our lien's discharged and our taxpayers are out thousands of dollars.
And that fund goes to lots of things, right? Whatever is big, just not sidewalks, right?
Correct, we have snow removal, grass abatement, sidewalk abatement.
Any other questions? Roll call?
McKnight,
Aye.
Myers,
Aye.
Rohan,
Aye.
Vogel, Kinder.
Aye. Resolution authorized submission, Officer of State Fire Commissioner, Fire and EMS grants, 24,000.
A resolution of the Council of the City of Meadville authorizing submission of an application to the Pennsylvania Office of the State Fire Commissioner's Fire, Rescue, and Emergency Medical Service Grant Program. Resolved by the Council of the City of Meadville that whereas the Pennsylvania Office of the State Fire Commissioner has established an annual state grant program that provides funding for career fire companies and emergency medical services, and whereas the city desires to complete and submit an application for the Fire, Rescue, and EMS Grant Program in the amount of $24,000 to purchase mobile radios, portable radios, and multi-gas detectors, and to update medical equipment. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Meadville that the appropriate city staff are hereby authorized to submit an application to the Pennsylvania Office of the State Fire Commissioner Fire, Rescue, and EMS Grant Program in the amount of $24,000 and directed to take all action and to execute any and all appropriate documents associated with the grant application.
So moved, Your Honor. Second.
Discussion?
This is a grant that the city and fire department apply for on a yearly basis. There's no match to it. The only reason that it comes before council in the form of a grant is in case there's some overages in the money, the city would need to pick up some of that. Hopefully not, though. And then we always evaluate how much of an overage anybody's willing to pay for.
Anybody have any questions? No. Roll call.
McKnight,
Aye.
Myers,
Aye.
Rohan,
Aye.
Vogel, and Kinder.
Aye. Public comment on non-agenda items, and that would be Lee Scampanero.
Hi, Council and Mayor Kinder. I only wrote my name once, but I hope to speak twice, one as a private citizen and one on behalf of the Crawford County Coalition on Housing Needs. So these, I'll go in order of, I'll start with the Crawford County Coalition on Housing Needs, which is a nonprofit organization here in Crawford County, speaking about the rental inspection program, and I did provide this to you guys in advance just so you had it. The Crawford County Coalition on Housing Needs has been addressing homelessness and low-income housing needs in Crawford County since 1987. Part of that 30-year mission is to advocate for, build, and manage decent, affordable housing to meet those needs. As Meadville City Council discusses the implementation of a rental registration and inspection program, our Board of Directors offers our support of the program as both landlords and housing advocates. In supporting this program, we also acknowledge its implementation will likely cause disruptions in our local housing system. Landlords will need time to work costs into their business model. Tenants will need to take on a bigger role in ensuring their own safety. Some tenants may even need to find new homes as the program identifies uninhabitable units. These challenges are to be anticipated, and while they will burden housing providers in the city, we do not see them as a reason to disqualify the need for its implementation to ensure safe housing. Additionally, we hope the City of Meadville will follow through with its support of the Whole Home Repair Act. This act can serve as healthy companion programming to the rental inspection program, supporting landlords who need to make repairs to their units. Thank you for your prioritization of housing in the City of Meadville. Our Board of Directors is encouraged by the city's new role in ensuring everyone has a home to come home to. and now I'll speak as a private citizen, Lee Scananero. I'm writing to express my support for the rental registration and inspection program. In particular, I wanted to speak to some of the comments that I've heard coming from the public, in particular landlords, that this is a duplicative program and that it is already currently enforceable in the city. I sent to all of you a pretty lengthy resource put out in 2016 by the Housing Alliance of Pennsylvania. By no means a super radical organization. This organization promotes common sense solutions to increase the supply of safe, decent homes for low-income people. As I hope you have seen in their report, which is called Blight to Bright, they recommend a comprehensive strategy which adopts numerous tools to combat blight and advance Pennsylvania's housing market. In particular, they specifically name adopting both an international property maintenance code, which I believe the city of Meadville has adopted, as well as a rental property registration, which you are considering right now. They also recommend implementing a vacant property registration, which I became passionate about when I lived on Walnut Street and lived across the street from a vacant house for a year and a half, and wanted to leave that neighborhood because of that. I hope this resource provides additional certainty in voting to adopt the rental inspection program. Furthermore, I also recommend speaking with the Housing Alliance of Pennsylvania to ask how these companion programs can work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. All right, council member statements. I think I will start with Jim.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome the Knox firm, Tim Walker, on board. We look forward to a long and very productive relationship. And give thanks to the Schaefer firm for their years of service to the city and wish them well in their future endeavors. Thank you.
I'd just like to echo Jim's sentiment. Thanks for being here. I'm looking forward to our relationship. And again, great appreciation for Gary Alessio and Schaefer Law Firm. Thanks to everyone who came tonight. It was very exciting to have a new fireman on board. So thank you, Dalen. It was really exciting to have you here. That's really it for me.
Yeah, same. I'd like to thank you and welcome you here. I was listening to Lee talking about the rental registration and program, and it just, to me, it makes sense. But my one thought and hope, and I'm from listening to you guys, you've already started at the plan of talking about building, because we have to be realistic. We're going to have new housing in Meadville, because like you said, some of them are going to be inhabitable. So I would like to start working with you, the Housing Coalition, to find out what plans and where in this area is if there's an area in this to build new houses, because that's something that's going to come down the line. We're not going to be able to, like I said, rehab all the ones that are here. We need to start looking at the real big picture. Our budget is going to keep continuing to go and grow. We shouldn't have to continue to afford putting the taxes on the taxpayers. Okay, we've got to come up with the revenue. We've got to come up with more housing. I just want and hope that they're really open for suggestions and ideas, and that we're willing to meet, like we're doing for the rental registration program, to start really delving into this, because 5 years from now, or the next couple years from now, if we want the city to grow, we have to have adequate and safe housing. So I would like to talk with you more, with Guy and chaps in different organizations, to find out what their ideas, what directions they want to go, to make sure we're all working on the same page.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll echo the words of welcome. Welcome Tim and Knox. Welcome Dalen. Love to see, there you are. Love to see local people, right, serving the public, like being employed in our city, right, to do good work and serve their hometown. This is very beautiful. So welcome, thanks. Thanks for bringing them up. And I think, I feel like I kind of want to step back. Like, I think a lot of us up here, like, have, many times have reiterated our commitment to a more participatory government and a more transparent government. And I think that, it's neat to see these things actually moving. American Rescue Plan Act survey, like giving people a chance to actually weigh in on how we spend this money is a manifestation of that, right? It's like coming true, it's happening. People have 2 more days. Fill the survey out by Friday. And then the budgeting, the balancing act tool, and the kind of general approach to the budgeting season. I'm glad about that too, and I hope that we can kind of. I don't think that it'll be easy or like change everything overnight. That would be naive, right? But I hope that we can really make a good faith effort to do our due diligence here in a more participatory way of budgeting and governing, and make a commitment to continue to try it for a few years and see where this can go. Also to that point, right, we've got a new member on the Environmental Advisory Council. Glad that Peggy can step onto that, and excited to see that group get moving. Some shout outs to staff. The calendar was on the website, so sorry that I ever made it seem like it wasn't. That was on me. And I also wanted to thank staff for all the work. We were visited by Deputy Secretary for DCED, Rick Valello, and some other folks from the Department for Community and Economic Development. Yesterday we did a tour of town, and it just like felt great to show them the things we're excited about, the opportunities in front of us, and some of the work that's being done, some of our priority developments too. So that was really great. I think they had great things to say. They're glad to be connected and want to remain connected, and they got pockets, state pockets, so that's good. Speaking of which, right, like that's the department lead to your comment, like that is going to oversee the whole Home Repair Act money, and they had some updates, though nothing public and nothing super promising, so we still wait on verdicts, but it was good to know that things are moving, and that there might be money available. There will be money available. It's just a matter of getting it here, getting it to our people. So thanks for staff for all your work to get that set up. All your work to set up around this new budgeting season and everything else that you do all the time.
I would like to, again, thank our new solicitor. It's kind of like double Dutch, right? They jumped out, you jumped in, so I appreciate it. Very quickly, right? Without a hitch. And thank Gary and Jacqueline. I got to see Jacqueline today, and for all the good work that they've done. And look forward to all the great work you're going to do for us, and help us, propelling Meadville forward. I also, on the tour with DCD, we got to show them around, but we also got to take a look at the good work being done here in Meadville, and I am super excited and super proud to live here, and again, I do not accept the notion that there isn't stuff to do and businesses aren't coming here to Meadville, because again, big things are happening here, and we are looking to the long term, right? And the sky is the limit here in Meadville. We've got people here willing to do the work and that want to live here, and I think that we can see that by great new people coming onto the fire department, right? And the good work that our emergency services are doing, and even when they're short-staffed, right? People don't know because they're working hard because they love to be here. And I want to acknowledge them for what they do and keeping us safe and the hard work that they put in. Again, thank you to the fire department. I say thank you to the police department. I did that last meeting, but again, I want to thank the fire department for the good work you guys do. And it hasn't always been easy, but we have your back, and we are here for you guys, and are super excited to have you here and work together with you. because we, again, are all one city trying to move Meadville forward and keep each other safe. Thank you to our staff, and I do want to, I was disappointed because Literacy on the Lights got canceled, Under the Lights got canceled, and I was gonna get to read, right, today to the kids, but I didn't get to do that, but if anybody wants a story, I got one picked out.
Is there a trunk or treat?
We are gonna have trunk or treat on the 31st?
The 31st, yes.
Parade, and we've got the parade coming up, which is gonna be awesome, and we've got trick or treat, which is gonna be awesome. But I also wanted to reiterate that we're kicking off the giving season, and go through your closet, get your own coats out, right? Let's donate those. Let's remember our neighbors during this time. It is getting cold, and people are in need. So let's get those bags out of the trunk that we've had in there, right, of clothes that we meant to give away. There's a cool giving closet up at the high school that kids are going to, right, that they're getting clothes out of, that there are giving trees all over the city, along with boxes that you can put food in, that people can walk around and they can get that food, right? Just remember your neighbors during this time. Remember it is cold. Remember that people are in need. I think as a city, we can do better every single day when we start to remember that there are real people who live here, real people who live next door, and real people that we love and care about here. So in that, I am going to adjourn our meeting.
So moved.
Second? Okay, can I have roll call?
McKnight?
Aye.
Myers?
Aye.
Roha?
Aye.
Vogel?
Aye.
Kinder?
Aye.